The first landlord after moving to Havana was this Obia woman. Like she sacrificed chicken and them thing there. I just gave them like about maybe like 700 and something dollars US when we just come out back. And she's gonna walk up in this house and look at me and ask me to pay $180 for a machine that I did not break. Me just have it forgive them. So like hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Shawna. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. So basically, anytime y'all see like a video start and I'm so clear and like personal, we're chat about problems that we're facing in this life. So basically, I put on my status for my friends to respond to their worst or their trifling Cuban landlord stories, and some people responded, so we're going to be reacting to that today. And before we get into reading theirs, I am going to tell you guys mine. Of course I have one. For the most part, I've always had decent land people. For the most part, I haven't moved that much. I haven't experienced that many land people, but I have a story. So y'all know Abby, right? Y'all have seen her in my vlogs, my Angolan friend here. So Abby and I lived together since Coimar days. So like since my very first year of living in Cuba, we lived together. And then when it was time to start first year, we moved to Playa, which is where I live now. And we lived in this big 3-bedroom house, even though it was just the two of us. And that house was perfect in terms of like location and just like building wise, and everything that we needed or everything that I wanted in a house was that house, which I think is in like my first video on how like I found a house in Cuba and thing, the very first one, right? So I feel like this is like a consistent thing. Does anybody else go through this? Like at first your land people are so nice, wonderful, accommodating, so excited for the new dollar sign that you are. And then after, they just become disgusting and trifling, like they haven't known you for this entire period. No, just me? Okay. So basically, what had happened was, Abigail and I were still living together. We had lived at this place for like 2 years now. This was the first year that COVID hit. So like everywhere was on lockdown, nobody could leave them house. We all had to be staying home and thing. Obviously we still had to be paying rent during this time. There wasn't a reduced rent or anything for nobody over here in Cuba. They want them full money. So the summer came and we organized the chartered flights and I went home, but Abigail had to stay because they're just, I don't know. Remember, airport was still closed and everything. They weren't doing chartered flights to like go back to Angola or anything. Or I think they did, but we hadn't finished. She wasn't ready to go back yet. Like we weren't sure school was going to open. And at the time when we knew for fact that school wasn't going to open back, it was too late. So she wasn't able to get on. So she stayed here for the summer, right? Now, during this summer, Abigail's boyfriend at the time was like, basically didn't live at the house, even before that, right? So she was washing clothes and everything and all of that jazz. And then one day I'm in Jamaica and Abigail gonna text me and be like, the machine is broken, like the washing machine. And I'm like, okay, how? So I was like, did you tell the land people? So she was like, yeah. So like the months go by like in summer and she's like, they still haven't fixed the machine. So Abigail ended up moving out at the end of like summer for reasons, same with the land people and thing. I come back to Cuba. I'm the only person living in the house now. I didn't plan to leave, but I ended up leaving. So basically this machine has been broken since like early like June, because that's when they notified us that yo, no school. This machine has been broken for that entire time. I come up back, the machine's still no fix. So obviously I'm in the house, I'm hand washing stuff. It didn't bother me too much. I was just hand washing my clothes and stuff. And my towels, that's what bothered me. But I wasn't like pressing, being like, yo, when is the washing machine going to be fixed? Like they knew it needed to be fixed. So one day, they roll up at the house, my landlady and her husband, and like the husband's being like sketchy, so like he's like standing up like out at like the door. But when they came, I was in my room and like they came and knocked on the room door and then I came out. But the thing with that is that they aren't like lingering land people. Like they only come like when it's time for them to collect their rent and all of that jazz and stuff, which normally I would leave we'd leave the rent on like the table in the middle of the place. So it was strange for them to just show up. It wasn't time for rent to be paid or anything. There wasn't like any issue for them to come and fix anything or anything like that. For them to just come and like knock on my door and be like, yo, come out. So I came out and like the whole vibe was just like weird. So she's there and she's talking about the fact that somebody came and checked the machine and how much they said it was going to be to fix it, and that it was going to be $180. Oh, like that's a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah. Like, okay. Well, I literally am standing, I'm like, okay, like what does this have to do with, okay, continue. So she proceeds to then be like, yo, that's a lot of money for them and thing. If first she asked me if I could pay like the 180, I was like, no. Like, guys, when I tell you audacity is one thing that people have over here, like literally first she asked me to pay like the full amount. I was like, no, why would I pay the full amount? Mind you, you know, I wasn't even in the country when the machine did broke, you know, so obviously it wasn't me. So I'm just like, no. Like, and apart from that, this is an important factor of the story too. While I was in Jamaica, we had like a deal where it's like, normally if you're planning to come back, like after some thing, not everybody does this, but to make sure that airline people don't rent your house to like somebody else, like while you're away and you can come back up for school and get back your same house, we'll usually pay rent while we're in Jamaica. You don't pay the full rent because obviously you're not in there, but you pay like, I pay half, like just standard so that they'll keep the place and not like rent it to somebody else, right? So I just came back up, paid a bunch of money in back rent for the summer period of me being away. Plus me just pay my rent for the month for like this period of while I'm staying here. I just gave them like about maybe like $700 and something US when we just come out back. And she's gonna walk up in this house and look at me and ask me to pay $180 for a machine that I did not break. So I was like, no. Then after like she's still going around, like the husband's still out of the doorway, like pretending like he's not listening. She's still going around, she's like, okay, es mucho entonces usted puede pagar la mitad, which is like half. She's asking me to pay like half of it, which is like $90 US. I'm like, no, I'm not paying any amount. Like, she's still going on there saying like, oh, es mucho for them, and she knows like I need to use the machine. I'm like, I wasn't even here when it was broken. Why would I pay for a machine that I did not break? So basically she ends up asking me and is like, okay, so basically what you're saying is that you're not going to pay for it. I was like, no, it's your house. Like, they were like, what? Okay, so what they supposed to do? I was like, it's your house. Why would I pay for the machine that's in your house? I'm still have your parents. Like, it didn't mean, guys, and she didn't mean like, okay, can you pay the 180 and we'll take the difference from like your rent next month? No, she want me to pay the 180 plus my rent next. The audacity that these people have, just out of the goodness of my heart, because apparently me just have it forgive them. So like I was like, and from that, like they move hella shady after that. Like she was like, her husband like said like to ask me, and I was like, no. Like, no. And I'm usually like so nice to line people. I'm like, no, absolutely. There's all hell starts to break loose after that, honestly, guys. Like, she started to be hella shady. She started to be like, just, you know, them just switch up after. And I was like, yeah, it's time for me to move. No, just no. So that was my experience of like a trifling land person. I did leave and I did cut, and I was like, them disgusting fam. So now we're going to get into my friends' experiences. My friends' experiences over here. Let me see if I can find it. So the first one. I'm not going to call names. I'm just going to read. Alright. So back in Koimar, when I was in pre-med, my roommates and I were told to leave because we refused to pay the full electricity bill. Bear in mind, it was a 3-bedroom apartment and this lady decided to live there with her son. Back to what I'm saying. So obviously the electricity bill was supposed to be split between 5 persons, right? Anyways, we decided so we now pay that and it have to split 5 way. So we actually split the bill in a 5 and told her to pay the rest. Guess what Goods did? came in the room, fling the money upon the bed and said, "Uno better pay the rest." Did we though? Nope, we didn't. Good said, "Sevan," which basically means like, get out. She's like, we said, okay, no hay problema. So we ended up sleeping at our friend's house the night. Next day, we started looking for a house and to how God good, as we start walk so we get house. Anyways, we went there to collect our stuff and of course my rent money, because I had paid my rent the day before everything occurred. You want to know, say Goods gave me back $100, 100 cook, and my rent was actually $250. So guess who get crazy? Well, honestly, almost beat the woman to sick. But then I go on real bad. Because this witch refused to give me back my money. I know I actually had to get the guy who was responsible for us involved. And of course we got back our money. And my roommate even got extra cash. But the story didn't end there, so after we left, like a week after or two, everything started going downhill from her. 1, lightning strike and mash up the house phone and the fridge, so you know everything in the fridge spoil. And she never have any money for fix the damage. But don't tell me if God asleep, because I know for a fact God not asleep. She got a beating, and it took her a long time to actually get clients thinking about it. I don't know if she has clients to this day. Like, that was one. The next one, guys, honestly, it's two like electricity bill stories like that we're sent in. So y'all get the next one. Like I said, I put the thing on my story and it was like, sending your trifling landlord stories. So this was her response. Yes, my time to shine. That lady had me pay for her fridge, her water pump. Anything that break down, she catch it up and want me pay. The house was without water and a working fridge for majority of my stay. And the fact that we came through that one agency, they trifling by the way, and they were supposed to be my advocate, was crazy. Yet to be apologized to LMFAO. And then she sent like the problem log. So she arrived at the house on November 9th of 2020. The next day, she sent in problem logs. Fridge not working, no water. Hot water not working, no water. They sent us to fix it ourselves. These are on different dates. Water heater wires sparking whilst showering. That's a thing, by the way, over here. If they have the one that's like actually like lit by fire, not the electric ones, be careful. Shower pipe and bathroom sink leaking, no water. They would not reply to our messages. This one, no water in the house. That was for 6 days based on the date. In the morning, water at a low pressure. In the evening, no water. No hot water, no water. Gas leak was reported. Fridge not working and food spoiled. No water. Fridge stopped working and needed to remove food. At one point, she told me so when she got Venezuela and Brazil and those places, she had to go without water, so we'll be fine. Because she was a doctor and she would go on like missions and things. Yeah, you're paying your rent, you know. And these people are telling you their experiences when they were traveling to other countries and how they survived, so you will be fine. And you're paying them hundreds of dollars US. So, next story. Next person. So I once lived in a house that was insect infested. Cockroaches, centipedes, 40 legs, moth, whatever insect you could think of lived with me inside that house. I used to see them coming out of the walls and up and out the drains. I got tired of it and spoke to my landlady about it. At first, she did nothing. I complained about it again and she still did nothing. I thought she wasn't going to do anything about it without consulting me. Until she entered my apartment when I wasn't at home and fumigated. Well, I was very upset about this, and when I got home, because she fumigated just a short while before I reached home from school. The scent of the spray was very suffocating in the house, that not even having fans on with the doors and windows open helped. Now I called the lady asking why I was not informed about her going to fumigate that day, so I could have made other sleeping arrangements, as I found it difficult to breathe inside the house. Bear in mind, it was December, so the place was freezing. Her response to me was to turn on the AC. I responded asking her how turning on the AC was going to help the situation. Her response, she laughed and said, all the best. Well, I said to myself, okay, she must be telling me all the best with finding a new house. So with her blessing, 2 days later I moved out. She fuming in the place, you have fumes that are affecting you. And she's telling you to turn on the AC? Okay. Next story. So, the first landlord after moving to Havana was this Obia woman. Like she sacrificed chicken and them things there. So we found this house and it wasn't too bad, but we should have took the first red flag when the person living there before us told us good luck. So a couple months passed and she started to get really sketchy. Sometimes we'd come home and our windows and doors open, and then she did our laundry. When she did our laundry, instead of leaving it in the living room, she started to go in our rooms and leave them. So the big story is one day we came home and Joe was looking for something. I don't know, not Joe. We just replace the names. Joe was looking for something. He's like, yo, Eric, big man thing. Me lose something like money, you see it? And I said, no. But let's ask the landlady. Maybe she see it. We told her we lost something and she started to freak out and slam door and run downstairs. We weren't even implying that she stole it. We were just saying that maybe you were cleaning and you saw it, but it's the way she positioned at the only exit in the house. And then like she said, like she ready for fight Eric with one hand behind on the door. A week after that, I lost money. Normally I hide my money away. The Friday we're supposed to move out and we're packing. And I'm like, BBC, I don't see my money at all. Alright, pause guys. So this story is a significant amount of money that this guy lost. Like dead ass, it was 4,000 euros. And they stole it from where he like hid his money in his house. Just won't come in here for this. I am always an advocate for traveling with cash. I personally do it. You never know when you might need for cuts or whatever. It's better to travel with cash, in my opinion, especially over here, because then when you change out the money, you get more. But if it's one thing, always hide your money. And he did that, but at the same time, like, the bag that I will hide my money in, or the suitcase that I hide in, a padlock dip on it. So there needs to be some barrier or something that's like stopping the person from like getting in, the people over your teeth. There's a girl in my class, hey, if you're watching this, she has 3 padlocks on her bag. Like dead ass, like she has 3 padlocks on her bag and she lives on dorm. And I already know, I didn't even have to ask her. She probably had like some situation where somebody stole something from her. We were doing like Pastor the Visitor, and the Cubans were there like laughing like at the fact that she has like 3 padlocks on her bag. Like, fam, them thief. Do not trust these people over here. Alright guys, last story. I went to pay my rent. At the time, it was extremely high. Rent was normally like $250, $300. I was paying $350, $400. The time came to pay the light bill, and he didn't want to show me. But basically, our houses were connected. Initially, when I went to the house, he was telling me that the light bill was about 10, 20 cook. And now, it come time for pay, the man I tell me, say, $50 cook, by the way. I said, what do you mean $50? I don't spend more than $10 on light. So if my house connected to Fame house, he might try to make me pay him light bill too. So I say, alright, mad. So I just take up my things and move. Mind you guys, this person has moved houses like 12 times. If you ever watch this, I know you will. I think you need to look into yourself. You might be the issue here. Not in this situation, but like dead ass guys. The audacity that these people have over here. I know other stories, but they wouldn't send them in. Anyways, basically, please be careful if you're a new student that's studying over here, or you're already here and you have like horrid landlord stories. Please comment them down below. Please comment them down below so I can get to laugh. And just like, please, I genuinely hope that if you're coming over here and you're studying or you're already here, that you will meet good people and have a decent land people experience. But honestly, it can happen. But if it's one thing that I've learned, Abigail was the one who taught me this. Land people are always nice in the beginning. They're always super nice. However, the minute it's time for you to leave and move out, they will switch up on you. So with that, I've learned, I always tell people this: if you're moving or switching houses, don't tell your land people until you've already found a designated house. Yes, you need to give them ample time, obviously, but make sure that you have a house. Don't even tell them that like you're thinking about moving or you're considering moving or anything, because at that point, all they see is, okay, I need to find a new source of income and thing, because these people, my money cash or my cash cow is leaving. I need to find something quick. So they don't even care about your well-being or your comfort or anything. Like, guys, when I told you my story, like with my situation, I think, and when I was ready to leave, and when I told them I was leaving after that, the people that my trips, like their new clients, like through the house, even when I was there, like to tour, to show them like the house and things so that they could rent, I would be in my room and there's a knock on the door and then come in and going on the bathroom and all of that just. And I'm a very nice person in that sense. Like, I get it, it's your house, but at the same time, I'm still paying rent. You're supposed to respect my space. So, like, they don't care. They won't care about your comfort because you're no longer going to be giving them money. So they're just like, whatever, we need to find the next thing. Please protect yourself over here. If you have cash on you, even if you don't have cash on you, any important documents, lock that ish up. Lock it up. Travel with padlocks and thing, and lock your suitcases in the event of anything. Don't care if anybody look at you crazy. Lock them up, especially if you live on down. Especially if you live on dorm, fam. Y'all know. Scholarship students know. These people are thieves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, share it if you found it funny. And if you're new here and you have not yet hit that subscribe button, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're like this close to like 500 subscribers, and I'd like to hit like 1,000, maybe let's be even crazy and say 2,000 by the end of this year. So please, it would be really, really helpful if you could hit that subscribe button if it's not already hit, and join this little family. Even if you don't watch, like, make a girl's day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.